is outrageous that we fishermen have to cough up 50 to 60 bucks for a tackle box. Today, we're going to talk about some of the newest and the coolest tackle organizing solutions from Japan. None of them are going to cost you an arm or a leg. In recent years, a lot of those tackle box manufacturers, especially those based in North America, have came out with their modern version of tackle boxes. I've used a lot of them, and I think most of them are actually built really well with super high quality material and everything else. But the problem is the price tag. It is outrageous that we fishermen have to cough up nowadays like it's 50 to 60 bucks for a tackle box. That's just insane, I think. Secondly, I think some of them are like built really sturdy but super heavy, and also the space utilization are not very well thought out. So that's why I've been experimenting a lot of those tackle organizing solutions in the past few years, especially from Japan. Let's dive in. Our first tackle box of the day is from Luxxe. The Luxxe brand is actually a sub-brand under Gamakatsu, which is specialized in manufacturing lure fishing related tackles. They do a lot of black bass, trout, as well as a lot of light game saltwater stuffs. So Gamakatsu, I think most of us know that company as a great company of making superb fishing hooks and things. But they actually do make a lot of great fishing rods as well. That's specifically very popular in Japan and in Asian markets. This is their model LE500, which is a hybrid box. So one side is slip foam, the other side is those transparent compartmental with spring-loaded automatic opening little gates, I guess you can call that. So this box is completely waterproof. So you can see it is equipped with O-ring on one side, and then once you close it and then latch it, it's really tight, and the whole thing is built like a tank. This guy can provide about 500 grams worth of floating force, which means once you close it, it's not only watertight, but also, if your stuff inside is less than 500 grams, it will keep floating. So you don't end up with losing it if you drop it into the water. So those little compartments, those are not just the tiny little compartments. They actually give you those little dividers, those teeny tiny dividers that let you actually insert into those slots inside it. Each of those long compartments have 2 slots like that, and then you can just insert it like that. I don't think you can find a lot of those teeny tiny boxes designed for those micro accessories that's giving you those customizable compartment options. So that's one of the reasons I love it a lot. For me, this has been my major box that runs all the mid-strolling and hover strolling stuff. It comes with different sizes and a color as well. So here I have another one, the same size, but it's a different layout inside it. So this is their 503 model, which comes with a olive green. So this one, everything else is the same, other than that the slip foam side is actually also a bigger compartment layout, and also equipped with those spring-loaded compartment doors, totally transparent. You can see through very nicely. And then on this side, you can have those smaller compartments that's equipped with 2 little doors. So this side, you don't have the option of the dividers, okay? What I'm using this one for is actually my spinnerbait customization little box. Every once in a while, I'll have to switch out the blade on a spinnerbait, or maybe tie up, or even make a spinnerbait on the fly. So I have all my little accessories, the beads, the rings, the brackets and everything, spacers, different type of blades, everything's here. So in those trailer hook stuffs, I just put in those VCI anti-rust papers. these actually will be a very good fit if you are doing wading fishing, for instance. You can even put them in the pockets, which has a possibility of getting submerged. So check it out, the Luxxe LE boxes. Okay, the second one is my favorite. So this is a box made by Meiho. It's a 3010 size. It is a double-sided box. This thing's actually very, very heavy now because I use it primarily as my station. One single box to deal with almost all Dropshot and Neko rigging necessities. So one side you open up, this is a slip foam side, where you can see I lay out probably, I don't know, 100 hooks around here. So you have Dropshot hooks, and then I have all these Neko, different type of hooks and things like that, sizes, and also some of the weedless walkie rig hooks. And on this side, this is all these little compartments. They also give you those dividers. You can divide, and then you can see those slots. Those slots are very, very close to each other. So which means you can divide up to the size where you really want it. And that also means you can utilize the internal space to the fullest. So here I'm having all my nail weights, all my Dropshot, most of the smaller Dropshot weights, and also up to like half-ounce Dropshot weights can be arranged here, all thanks to those highly customizable dividers. And the other part of it is that you can see the inside of lid is not smooth. It has all these little dots that protruding out. So this is designed so that it minimizes the crevice between the lid and those compartments and the dividers, so that if you have those teeny tiny accessories, and when you flip that over or stand it up in a boat, and then your boat runs through some chops, and then you open up, and you basically see those little accessories going everywhere. So this one does a great job of keeping the small accessories to where they belong. Over time, you can still see maybe one or two of those little O-rings actually jumping through. But mostly, I would say, it actually does a very, very good job of not having those teeny tiny accessories going everywhere. So with this box, if I want to rig a Dropshot rig or a Neko rig, I only need this one single box. So this box is built as a tank as well. So by holding all these weights and things, it's actually pretty heavy. All these tungstens, everything here. This thing probably now weighs like 5 pounds or something. And it has been sitting in my boat compartment, going through the elements and things like that, and heat and cold for at least 7 years. And it's still holding up. I think it was sold like 11 or 12 bucks. But this is doing way more than box that's worth the 12 or 11 bucks sold here in the United States. By the way, Meiho is probably the biggest brand for making tackle boxes in Japan. It's pretty much like the Plano brand in Japan. If you can still get it, try it. Okay, this next one is also made by Meiho. This is the 820ND box. So this box is like a half slip foam, and then the other side, it gives you a one divider, like 2 bigger compartments alongside its width. This is my flipping box. Okay, so on this side you have all these offset hooks or the straight shank hooks. On this side I have all the bobber stoppers, the skirts, all the the skirted weights, everything like that. And then I also have some weights down underneath there. So this is again a very convenient box for rigging up the flipping stuff. So here I have those 5R or 4R hooks that I use most, right? So those just fill the 1-inch height after I stick them into the slip foam. So basically that means you're not going to stick your offset hooks or straight shank hooks and then leave about that much of the space on top, which will be basically wasted, right? Well, the next is a series of those Hardbait boxes that I've been using for a couple of years. Those you can read from the box. It says Dual. Dual is the same company that makes all the superb spy baits. Although this is called dual, but these are actually made by Meiho as well. So what I want to show you is, well, first of all, they come with all these different sizes, you know, all the way from those bigger ones that actually can accommodate those 110 plus 1, even a 110 plus 2, and all the way to the ones that's I'm using for the trout lure. So what I really like about these boxes, first of all of them are double-sided, and then each of the baits actually sit right next to each other in an individual compartment, and each of the individual compartment on the same side are actually designed into a almost like a triangle shape. You can see this, and there's a pretty deep groove down under. This actually fits very nicely when you have those treble hook sit in there. And two, because those are individual compartments, you don't need to put any cap of your treble hook. So when you use it, you just open the box, take it out, tie it on, throw it. Because it's designed in a triangle, so the other side, you open it up, is the other set of the triangle. So you fit in the other part full of those baits. So there's very little space wasted internally, while at the same time providing you with a superb organization like that. And the features actually doesn't really end here. So you can see they have all these little holes here. So those holes are actually for draining water. The other feature is, you can see they actually come with different sizes, but also different ways of opening those latches, right? So this is like a side opening latches, and the one I just showed you is like sort of vertical opening. For those vertical openings, again, I think I really like it because I stack them up like that in the boat compartment, like that. So shoulder to shoulder. We don't have any latch on this side, so I'm not wasting any space width-wise. So that means, if I stack it up like that, I can still have a slot here, and then I can stand up a box here. So that's what I mean by really using the fullest of the space by having those little boxes. As far as size goes, this is 120 size, and I think why they call it 120 is because the width this side, its length is 120 millimeters, which is 5 inches long. So this box actually takes baits such as the Megabass Live X, or the Luxxe Craft Bevy Shad, or the Luxxe Craft Pointer 78 very nicely. So there's little space to be wasted on each side. So this is a 160, so the compartments are much wider and deeper than the 120, and so wide and deep that it actually fits those KVD 1.5 size crankbaits really nicely. At least the 20 crankbaits, very well organized and easy to use. And then this is the 100. I've been using it for little shad or slash little jerkbaits type of stuff, like the Bevy Shad 65 fixing very well, but then more importantly, those OSP high cut fits very nicely in there. Next is the Jackall. This one is pretty unique in the way that it actually opens from both sides. If you actually close the latch on one side, it's a normal box, but then it opens either side. Take the box out. I need to check which side to open. Plus, this is a pretty, flamboyant red latch. You cannot miss it, right? When you take it out, open it, done. Like the older, semi-transparent boxes, doesn't really have flamboyant red latch. You take it out, you need to find where the side of the latch is at. Oh no, not this latch, and I need to turn it around and then open it. So that will waste maybe 5 seconds. Anyway, inside it gives you a lot of dividers, and you can also see again these newer boxes from Japan. They all give you very tight slots for adjustment, right? Of course, I have to have those little Jackall made super brake blades, snag proof little finesse chatterbait that was made by Jackall. So if you are interested in more details, please click the link in below or on top of the screen. This next little one is made by Reins. This is again a double-sided terminal tackle box. These are actually very well made because these are actually waterproof, and then it actually takes the treble hooks very nicely because it does leave you enough room between the legs and also on top. I'm using it primarily for spare treble hooks on my boat and also for net rig. Oh, I need to filter though. For net rig jig heads, right? So because it is waterproof, so and the size of it, I think actually fits you very well if you actually do short fishing a lot. And they do make a smaller version, which is about half size of it, and also they equipped it with a lanyard, which you can basically just hang that on your neck. And so that was extremely useful when you're wading. This next one is made by this called LSD Design. This is a company in Japan that specialized in making those little bags and things like that. This is their one-shot bag. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it because I already did that a couple years ago on my other channel. The only thing I want to point out is this. Okay, this is the best design for those shore fishing little bags because these are actually where you can put your rods in there. I just want to show you here because I think all the other things you can find in those Planos and other brands, but this is not very often. And they actually work very nicely. When you put your rod, of course, you have to have the reel installed on the rod in those, and then basically you can just free up your two hands if you want to climb or things like that, and the rods won't fall out. Those are actually very, very useful designs that I hope all these Planos and everybody else can actually incorporate it into their bag design. So next, let's talk about these EVA cases. So these have become very, very popular among bass fishermen in recent years, but they actually originated long time ago with the saltwater fishermen in Japan. So those are not the hardest, but it's actually pretty hard. But at the same time, those are very thin and very light. So that's why it's actually very, very popular. And also waterproof. If you install a waterproof zip on the top, it's definitely waterproof. But the bottom part is definitely waterproof. Now they are available in those smaller sizes. I think they're always available in those smaller sizes. The thing is that now they start to put those transparent lid on top. Those are like semi-hard. It's not like the hard case you can't squeeze in a lot of stuff, but this is primarily for me to actually put in those bags of softer plastics, and you can really squeeze in a lot. I don't know how much I squeeze in there, but the thing is that once you zip it up, it's actually still not bulging too much up, right? So that's the good part. And then you can pretty much still limit or restrict the size on the side and things like that, and not like the typical pouch. If you stuff it too much and it becomes a really, really bulky, and then you cannot squeeze in the original plates where it belongs. So that's why I like it. And also, the transparent top, it has a little handle on the top. So when you're taking out from the compartment, makes it super easy. But also, sometimes I just, if I want to do like really quick, like 1 hour, 2 hour shore fishing, I just take one of these and just, grab a couple bags of softer plastics and then throw in a couple of the hardbaits. Sometimes I don't even have the hook protected because these are not snag with the hook whatsoever. The only thing you need to watch out is the zip part. But for things like that, they are actually very careful, because if you look from the side, you can see the fabric part of the zip is actually not exposed by any means inside it. So that means if you just throw the treble hook openly inside this box and then just shake it or whatever you do, you don't end up with the hook penetrating those zip part. So that's really, attention to detail design as usual for those Japanese tackle boxes. The other part is, I think, everyone actually now makes one. So Evergreen, this one is made by, well, I don't know who made it actually, but this one is called Evergreen, the white one. I find that the white ones are actually very nice to have, especially if you want to just carry it as a like day box or or like short fishing box, because if you drop some small things in it, it's very easy to look for it, right? And that's one. The other thing is, I used to use these as a day box, or use that to catch all the used lures off the boat. But this one's even better. So it's actually a different setup of the handle. So this one, if you stands up in the boat, right? So that will make it much easier to actually just to grab on the top. The other part is it's actually transparent around, and the depth also makes one. But this one, unfortunately, is not as good as the evergreen one. So one is the zip part. You can see the zip part is fully exposed actually. So you cannot really throw any of those open hooks in there. That's one. So whatever brand you buy, remember, if you get a black one, don't leave them under the sun unless you want your bait well done. Yeah, those ones actually absorb heat very efficiently, I want to say. If you haven't been trying these, I highly recommend you try these. Okay, the biggest of the day is this Meiho Versus 7090N tackle case. This is the 7090N model. This case is built super steady. This box actually opens from both sides, and you can take the whole lid off, or you can keep one side latch on, and you can open from either side. It comes with a handle, and there's actually a locking mechanism on both sides that you can lock it so that the handle always stands up. You can use that as a lunch tray. It's not flimsy on top of this lid at all. It can actually support the typical adult's weight. You can sit on it. So it's now in the winter of 2024, and where I live, those guys are coming out. So for you guys who are really into trout fishing, especially the trout fishing using spinning tackles and things like that, the next part of the video is mostly for you. The first one. But personally, I'm all about functionality oriented when it comes to storage options. Specifically, I'm looking for convenience and space utilization. When rigging, I think the less boxes I need to open, the more convenient that is. So for rigs in use frequently, I choose boxes that can actually organize all the related accessories in one box. So when I'm rigging, like for instance the packed Texas, I don't need to get hook from one box, and a skirt from a second box, and a weight from a third box. Now when it comes to space utilization, no matter you're fishing from shore or from boat or wading, this is a key. The space organization for a tackle box actually refers to not only the inside but also the outside, right? So for the outside, for instance, in recent years I've gone from larger boxes to those smaller boxes because they can fit into the crevice or those small spaces in the boat compartment much better than those large boxes. Or I can fill most of the compartment with the larger boxes and then just put in those small boxes wherever it fits. That way I can use the spaces in the boat compartment to the fullest. The other side is the inside, right? So you don't want to put in those smaller lures or baits in a large box, but then also leave out like that much of the space inside the box. That's really wasting space. Because of these two factors, if you think about it, the smaller boxes, they not only let you to utilize the outside space that is within the boat compartment or inside your carry bags much better than those larger boxes, but also it comes in many different sizes that can actually accommodate the different sizes of lures that actually also at the same time let you to organize your tackle into those modules. The first one